Welcome to another episode of Truth Tellers here at Wild and Kingdom, where we tell the truth about gear that we use. And as you've seen in maybe some of our other episodes, it's usually Jason and I sitting here, but we did a cool episode recently, both on the show and the podcast, where we had Mr. Kevin Clow come in to talk about guns and everyday carry. We went to the gun range. We talked about the fundamentals of everyday carry. We even talked a little bit about should Christians carry guns. But in that episode, we talked about everyday carry and the extension of everyday carry, things that surpass just what goes in our pockets, like what's in our backpack, what's in our truck, what's in our truck backpack, what's under the back seat. And one thing that Kevin mentioned was a backpack gun of sorts that he keeps with him. And so we have that in the studio today, which is awesome. So we're going to talk about that a little bit so you can kick this thing off. Tell me what the heck you have in your hand. And before we jump into the gun, I'm going to say this here. We said it on the show and we said it on the podcast. Please, if you're going to take any recommendations from us, take this one first. If you're going to do anything with carry or gun options, please be extremely safe. Make sure you've practiced. Make sure you've always checked your gun to see if it's clear or not before you do anything that we talk about here for the rest of this episode.
I love this thing. This is my CMMG, which is the brand name, CMMG Descent. In 9mm. So,
which I think is awesome.
It's cool, man. No one ever expects this to be a 9mm because of the fact that it has a regular AR lower. So I want to talk about that feature first because I bought this for a couple of reasons. One, I bought this because, as you can see here, and I'll make sure the camera can see it, the stock folds up and I've got a tri-lug suppressor on there that just pops off like this. So it folds up to be this super compact package.
It looks like something out of Call of Duty, bro.
Dude, it fits right into a backpack. I got an EOTech on there. I got a flashlight on there, some backup irons, but this fits right into the, any standard JanSport or North Face backpack, dude. And then if you need to deploy it, I mean, it's literally this quick to pop the stock, get the suppressor on there, and you're good to go. So it's a super fast deploy. But I bought it with the you can get a lower for this that runs Glock mags, but I wanted to buy a gun that not only could be a great backpack gun, but that could also be a great training gun because ammo is not cheap. We talked about that a little bit. And so, 9mm is probably, gosh, it's at least half the price of 5.56. It's right around half the price of 5.56. So it takes these conversion mags. So this is
cool.
magazine for it. There's an insert in it that is made by, I want to shout them out, but I'm trying to remember the name of the company. They also make something called an endo mag. This is their endo mag. The product's called the endo mag, and it goes into a standard P mag like this. So this is a Magpul P mag Gen 3 with an endo mag conversion inner. And I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it feeds 9mm rounds through a PMag. So what's great about that is if you're drilling your rifle skills, you can use all the same gear, all the same mag pouches, same belt, same chest rigs, everything. Reloads feel the exact same. All your controls, your safeties, everything are the exact same on the rifle. And the ammo is half the price. So not only does it function as a backpack gun for me, but it's also a great training rifle.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, because it looks like that lower. Like when you pulled it out at the range the other day, I thought, oh, it says AR-15.
Yeah.
And when you said it was 9mm, it blew my mind.
Most people assume it's a 300 blackout just because 300 blackout is a caliber that runs great on short barrels. So it was designed to basically run through an AR platform, but with a shorter barrel and still have a energy on target, ballistically similar to a 5.56. Sure. But no, it's literally just a little pistol caliber carbine that looks like an AR, functions like an AR. The only difference is you have your side charging handle right here.
Right, that is different.
Which allows your stock to fold, right? Because if you had a buffer tube on it, like a standard AR, you could there's adapters, Law of Tactical makes a folder for it, but the recoil system is all contained within the upper, and it just allows it to be compact and fold up, so.
Now, on this gun, you've obviously decked it out with all the things that you want. You've personalized it. You got a suppressor on it. You got a light on it. You got a sight on it.
Yep.
For someone who's looking to get into maybe owning their first rifle of sorts, maybe even it's 5.56, 223, or the 9mm. Like for me, when I got my first AR, I actually don't really care how this sounds, but it was during COVID, and this is when the president came on the TV and said, we're coming after ARs or whatever. And then I got my stimulus check, and it just happened to be the exact number I was looking for to walk into Mark's Outdoors and get the AR that I wanted.
Yeah.
So I was like, now seems like a good time to get this.
Absolutely.
But because I didn't have one previously and I didn't know a lot about them, I got one that had a little bit of stuff on it, but it wasn't the bare minimum. I didn't have to do a whole lot to get what I wanted on it. The only thing I did was put a red dot on it.
Yeah.
So you've obviously gone and done some more, but if you were talking to someone who was interested in getting there first, where would you steer them? What would you tell them?
In terms of the brand of rifle or accessories or kind of all of the
Accessories,
above?
or if they should just go bare bones and build it themselves, or what would be the idea there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say, just like I would tell a pistol shooter who wants to be a great shooter to learn to be a great iron sight shooter before you're a great red dot shooter, you got to start with the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are iron sights. In this particular case, not many rifles, actually pretty much no ARs come with iron sights anymore, like fixed iron sights.
Yep.
Few do, but it's rare. But if you get a pair of backups, Magpul makes these are just flip up.
I like those a
iron
lot.
sights.
Yeah.
So if your red dot goes down, I'm a big believer in having backup sights on a gun. If this goes out of battery, malfunctions, and it's an electronic device, so in theory it could malfunction. You have a backup sighting system. I have it basically co-witnessing with the red dot in here. And yeah, iron sights are great to have on a gun, but I like EOTechs. I don't really discriminate. Some of my guns have EOTechs on them. There's a big old window to see through. If you're doing kind of interesting angle shooting, like at the range when I was going through that cutout board where there's the different angles and the different slots, it allows you to see through and get a sight picture, even if you're kind of at an angle where you can't be fully behind the gun. But I also have a red dot. The benefit of red dots is their battery life is so exceptional. So the battery life on this is about 1,000 hours. The battery life on my red dot on one of my other ARs is 50,000 hours.
Yeah, I think that's close to
like a
what my
5-year battery life
exactly.
or something absurd like that. So this runs through batteries, but I do like the sight picture. But again, it all comes down to personal preference. Some guys like scopes, LPVOs. Some guys like red dots. Some guys like EOTechs. And it's just, everything comes down to what do you like, what do you prefer, what works for you, but then train with it.
Now, speaking on that, we're going to go to the question that Jason always usually asks at the end of these, or we ask one another, which might be a hard answer for you on this because you've spec'd this gun out to exactly what you wanted it to be.
Right.
But we always ask about products and say if there was one thing on it that you could change
On this
that you
gun.
don't love, what would it be? And I know that you've spec'd this out to be what you love, but is there anything else? Actually, I'll ask you this way.
Yeah.
Is there any other additions you are thinking about or would make on this gun?
That's a better question because it is. I picked the silencer I want. I didn't spare any expenses on this gun. I do not currently own night vision. That's kind of the next chapter of my gun buying career. But it would be if I had a night vision system to put some sort of infrared laser on here. Currently, I've just got a flashlight, but that would be the next thing I would put on this. But those, I mean, an infrared laser, a good one would be almost the exact price of everything else I have on this
that's
gun
tough.
combined, plus $10,000 plus for night vision. So
Right.
that's coming down the road. But this gun is certainly equipped for it when the time does come.
Well,
for
it's
it.
definitely a sick gun.
Thanks, man. I love this thing. Yeah.
Well, as always, guys, thank you for another episode here at Wild and Kingdom, where this is our truth tellers. And like we said at the beginning, we tell the truth about the gear that we use, and he obviously uses this gun a lot. If you haven't watched the podcast episode or the show episode that we did with Kevin, please make sure to go check that out. We dive really deep into all the carry things, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I got to shoot this gun on there too, so you can see it in action.
Let's go.